Good afternoon. I'm County Commissioner Cammie Brimmer, and happy to have you all here today. You know, we are a region on the rise because our people are on the rise. Many of you probably came here today expecting to hear a lot of facts and figures about lane miles paved and other things that the county does. But we do so much more than pave roads and issue documents. We do those things well, but we impact people's lives every day. And that's true whether we're helping someone find a job, find a family, or find hope. And while I could tell you all about that, we thought you'd enjoy hearing directly from some of our citizens.
Hi, I'm Dr. Carolina Steen, Assistant Superintendent, Cheyenne Mountain School District.
And I'm David Galvan, Director of Education for a Lifetime.
I had the distinct opportunity of being part of a youth suicide work group that El Paso County Health Department took the leadership on. In that reach out, they were really looking for folks that could come together and impact kids' lives.
And over the last year, we've seen almost 350 individuals in our community, primarily the faith-based community, be trained in this youth mental health first aid.
And I would say that the El Paso County Health Department took a leadership role in that. And if it weren't for their leadership of bringing those stakeholders together and letting them put people that come from way different parts of the community and have different goals and a mission together and saying, what can we do together as a team?
Because we were all in the same room now, and because El Paso County facilitated this, we were able to take one concerted effort and see community change, which actually has been happening. Between 2016 and 2018, the state of Colorado saw a 58% increase of death by suicides between the ages of 15 and 19, which is the 45th worst in the nation. That same time, between 2016 and 2018, between that same age range of 15 and 19, El Paso County saw a 46.7% drop. We believe it was because of the concerted effort of what was going on with that within that El Paso County Youth Suicide Prevention Group. That group, without that facilitation, I don't think we would have seen the drop. And I think that is the goal. That's the goal for us to say, what would it look like when Colorado Springs would not be known as the city with the most teen suicides or youth suicides? What would it look like to be the city that says you have the most students staying alive? This has been important for us, and this has been important for the community, I think, that El Paso County would host this and champion that effort.
I'm Kimberly Noose. This is my husband, Dale Noose, and we've been working with DHS since 2012 here in El Paso County.
Back in 2007, I went on a mission trip to Africa, and then I came back and I knew something else needed to be done, and I've been on about 14 mission trips since then. So when you see all the kids that are hurting and stuff, it makes you come back and see what's going on in your own community, and that makes you want to do something for your own community and overseas.
So that's what we did. Since then, I think our stats are we've fostered 22.
22, I think.
Yes, and adopted 7. The oldest being 23. The youngest right now is 4. I think the county's done an incredible job. I really do. I think they've stepped up and stepped in. People ask us all the time, why do you do what you do, and how do you change your world, and how do you change, your community around you? And to be honest with you, it's one child at a time. This is how you do it. If you can offer an opportunity to a child to stop the cycle of abuse and neglect and those things that they go through, my gosh, you change generations.
Hi, my name is Kenneth Scott. I'm a Lieutenant Commander, United States Navy, retired. Retired here in 1986 with my last duty station being NORAD. About a year ago, I was experiencing hearing loss, which I thought might be a service-connected disability because of my previous experience on the flight deck of aircraft carriers and flying airplanes. And about a year ago, I started trying to find out about obtaining a hearing aid through the VA. I went to the internet and started trying to figure it out, and it was just reams of paperwork and documents and regulations and rules and stuff, and I thought, oh my God, how am I ever going to figure this out? I went over to the VA hospital on Centennial, and one of the people at the hospital said that El Paso County Veterans Services were absolutely great, and so I called them and talked to Provolin Belawar. She helped me with all the paperwork, filled out the forms. They submitted the forms for me, and they approved my claim for hearing loss. I was absolutely delighted with the help I got from El Paso County Veterans Services. They were knowledgeable. They knew exactly what to do. They just made it so simple compared to what I was seeing, looking at, trying to wade through all those rules and regulations.
I'm Dr. Leanne Kelly, the El Paso County Coroner and Chief Medical Examiner. This is a letter I got from a family. Dear Dr. Kelly, I'm writing to convey my deep gratitude to you, your office, and in particular your Deputy Coroner, Rachel. My father, Dewey, and I were in Colorado Springs earlier this past October, attending a reunion of Dad's World War II 100th Bomb Group Foundation. Early in the afternoon of October 11th, I found my father unresponsive in his hotel room. Despite the heroic efforts of Lieutenant Brad and his EMT team from Fire Station 4, my father could not be revived. Later that afternoon, Rachel Broden came to see me to gather the information necessary for your office to do its work. Rachel was the very definition of professional and efficient in the way she interacted with me, but even more importantly to me, she showed great compassion for my situation of being 800 miles from home and having just lost my father. And while it may not be in her job description, the way she went about her job was comforting and reassuring to me. Dr. Kelly, I offer my sincere thanks to you and Rachel. We're the ones that are going to show up on the days that are, by definition, the worst of that person's life. And so we're not there because we expect to get thanks, but we're there because we know the significance of that. The mission that we're there for is to help people deal with really the worst tragedy of their life and start to put those pieces back together and begin the healing process.
Hi, I'm Michelle Winter. This is my daughter, Sierra. We're here to talk about our experience with El Paso County's Sheriff's Department, specifically their Beacon unit. They're outstanding. They go above, well above and beyond the call of duty. Don't cry already, jeez. We love them dearly. I mean, they've become like family. They came here when we were in great need. We met them in early January when we learned that Sierra had become addicted to heroin. The Beacon unit, Officer then, now Sergeant John Hammond, and Officer Robin Chawi, they're out of heaven. They came because I called Aspen Point because we wanted to get her in, and she wouldn't go. John and Robin must have sat here for 2 hours. They were amazing. They were so kind. And I had been calling. I had one left on the list. That was Dr. Kevin Snyder, who is at Achieve Whole Recovery. I had a call in, no response yet. Robin sat here and called them and got an appointment the very next day, the very next morning for Sierra. They came to our house the very next morning, and they started their shift a full hour early to do that because our daughter Anna and I expressed to them that we knew that we were sure Sierra would not be easy for us to get out of bed and get over. Robin and John came. They drove her, we followed. And they took her for her first treatment, basically her first appointment to begin her recovery. And they have since checked on her and us regularly.
They've been there for me more than any of my friends were. And I don't know, it's just that they're considerate and they actually give a shit. Like, they care. And I don't know, I haven't met anyone else that really did. I don't know where I'd be right now, because I really wanted to just run away and get high that night that they came. So I really don't know.
She was 16 when we found out.
Yeah.
And our daughter Anna was down here and said to me, behind your back, and I agreed, we didn't think you'd see 17. She is 17 years and 6 months and 20 days old today. Yeah. And I know I contribute that very much to El Paso County Sheriff's Beacon Unit.
Over on the far side of the ballroom here, take a look. Ryan Parcells and part of his crew. Stand, Ryan, hand up, please, if you would wave. From the PIO, Public Information Office at the county. It takes a crew to put that together. You notice the theme that's woven through there is the people who care for people in El Paso County. Ryan, nicely done. Thank you for sharing that vignette with us. Today's keynote speaker is a well-known champion for our community. He was sworn in as the District 2 Commissioner in July 2016. He's an attorney in Colorado Springs. He served in the Colorado General Assembly from 2009 to 2014 as the representative from House District 15, which encompasses portions of northeast Colorado Springs and eastern El Paso County. He served as the House Minority Leader for the 2013 legislative session and the Assistant House Minority Leader for the 2011 and 2012 legislative sessions. Not yet, Mark, we're not done yet. No, you can come on up. He also served on the committees of Judiciary, State Veterans and Military Affairs Committee, Committee on Local Government, Executive Committee, Legislative Council, and the Committee of Legislative Services, Legal Services. He served on active duty in the United States Air Force from 1993 to 2000, and in the Air Force Reserves from 2001 to 2009. He deployed to Baghdad, Iraq in 2006 in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. And if you ever have the chance, he can tell you some hair-raising stories from that service. He worked formerly as the Deputy District Attorney for the 10th Judicial District in Pueblo, Colorado, and the 4th Judicial District in El Paso County, Colorado. It's my pleasure to welcome the Chair of the Board of County Commissioners, Commissioner Mark Waller.
Wow, thank you, Dirk. I really appreciate that warm introduction. I also appreciate the El Paso County Sheriff's Office Color Guard and Gina for singing the national anthem. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to follow that one up today, but I'm going to do my best. She was incredible. But most of all, I appreciate all of you being here today. Now, just for a little bit of foreshadowing here, we're going to talk a lot about collaboration and all the things we do, and that was just exemplified a few minutes ago here in the room. My collar was popping up in a pretty significant way, and it was looking bad and was going to be distracting. And so George Nami from the Realtors over there selflessly pulled his little collar guard out and gave it to me. So that's one example of helping us out in a collaborative way today. Thank you, George. And also, I showed up today without a lapel pin, and apparently that's some sort of major cardinal sin or something, because I didn't have the lapel pin on. I got some grief from a few people, but right there, Mayor of Manitou Springs jumps in. Ken Jure selflessly pulled off his lapel pin and gave it to me. So, in an act of collaboration and showing you how we work together as a region, I am wearing a Manitou Springs pin today, so that's pretty cool as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to report our region is very strong. But more than that, in addition to being strong, we are on the rise. My granddad used to say, you gotta make hay while the sun's shining. And in these strong economic times, I believe El Paso County has done just that. We've done big things to promote the economy, to enhance transportation, and to tackle the serious mental health issues plaguing our region and nation. And we've done it all with dynamic new leadership. And speaking of which, I cannot say enough about the dedication and the resolve of not just our new leadership team, but everybody we have in leadership in El Paso County. We're on the rise because we're willing to think big and make bold decisions. I got to tell you, that is my favorite thing. I love that more than anything. Without a doubt, our team truly does stand on the shoulders of giants. But I sincerely believe the leadership we now have in place is the best possible to lead our region into a brighter future. So since we were here last, Susan Whelan has become our new Director of Public Health. She's awesome. Scott Cuthbertson, the new Director of Public Works. He's a little bit less awesome than Susan, but still awesome. I'm only kidding, Scott. Crystal Latier has taken over for economic development and is doing a fabulous job. And Diana May has stepped into the role of county attorney. Also joining our leadership team, my really good friend, Kenny Hodges. Kenny's the new assistant county administrator. I've known Kenny for years. He and I were interns together at the DA's office about 100 years ago. In fact, we studied for the bar exam together as well. I'll tell you, if you haven't had the chance or the good fortune to meet Kenny yet, he is a wonderful person, absolutely wonderful person. But here's what you need to do. Reach out to Kenny, try to get a lunch date with him. That's pretty easy to do because Kenny eats lunch 3 times a day, so you'll easily be able to have a lunch with him. And by the way, he asked me before I came up here today, he said, hey, would you mind making a little bit of an announcement for me? If you don't mind, if somebody doesn't eat all of their meal, just ask him to push it my way. So Kenny, would you stand up here? Kenny's at table 6. And if you could just push your cake his way, I think he'd greatly appreciate that. Thanks, Kenny. But most of all, I want to take a moment to recognize and thank our new county administrator, Amy Folsom. Amy, you are awesome, and I can't tell you how much we all, the 5 of us, appreciate you. We could not do this job without you. That is, you bring so much to the office here, so much, it's hard for me to say. But we truly appreciate your wisdom, your calm demeanor, your insight, but most importantly, the vision for where you need to take this county. I got to tell you, I think we're going to do great things as a Board of County Commissioners, but having Amy Folsom be our new county administrator, that's going to be our greatest legacy, that's for sure. Thank you, Amy. A few weeks ago, I had the chance to visit the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in Southern California. If you ever get the chance to go see this library, you need to take it. It's pretty awesome. I really enjoyed seeing all of the artifacts there. I enjoyed seeing the big airplane. I enjoyed seeing the Beast, you know, the car that the president drives around in. But there was something there that really struck me and really grabbed my attention the most. And it was a little placard in the gift shop. And I was going to purchase this placard to have it in my office as a constant reminder, but I flipped it over and I saw for $29.95. I think I could just take a picture and remember it that way. And if you're a Republican, this quote comes from Ronald Reagan. And if you're a Democrat, Harry Truman can have credit for it. But here it is. There's no limit to what a man can do or where he can go if he doesn't mind who gets the credit. I got to tell you, I absolutely love this quote because it is, and it should be, how we as a region tackle our problems and embrace our opportunities. Thanks, Ryan, for getting that applause line going. I appreciate it. So El Paso County, along with other community partners, has been doing a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to economic development. Since this time last year, the county has led the effort, committing over $53 million to redevelopment and urban renewal authorities. Projects like the Air Force Academy Visitor Center, the Olympic Museum and Park, and the Marriott Hotel at the corner of Tejon and Castilla, along with many others, will dramatically and responsibly transform this region into a 21st century powerhouse. So let's continue seizing on these opportunities, and let's embrace other opportunities around the region as well. You know, one of my good friends, Commissioner Lojinos Gonzalez, is passionate about growth and prosperity in the southeastern part of Colorado Springs and El Paso County. And I'm here to tell you, if we're smart, we'll be passionate about development there as well. Yeah. So this commitment is resulting in thousands of new jobs for our region. Jobs that are going to range from entry-level positions in hospitality and restaurants to high-paying professional jobs with tech companies, defense contractors, and other businesses. Our commitment highlights the proper role of government in economic development and job creation. And as a board, we understand it's imperative that it's our job in government to create the environment for the private sector to be successful and then get out of their way and allow them to be successful on their own. And for a region on the rise, workforce development is crucial to meet the needs of those employers. And nobody does it better than the Pikes Peak Workforce Center. Tracy Marquez and her staff, along with the enthusiastic support of my colleague Stan Vanderwerf, develop workforce skills, promote career transitions, provide education and training, and broker connections to serve the ever-changing needs of growing businesses. Without a doubt, our economy is red hot, both locally and nationally. And that sure keeps us busy, and it presents its own challenges, especially for our assessor, Steve Schlaker. By the way, just want to let you all know, Steve is the Colorado Assessor of the Year for 2019. I think one of the reasons that he's the assessor of the year is because he's completed the arduous task of doing over 200,000 property valuations. I'm here to tell you, I get it. I know everybody's had their valuations done, and we haven't always been happy about the way they've turned out, but just do what I did and tweet him to let him know that you're unhappy and use the hashtag, seriously, Steve? I promise the jokes get better. Steve's also led the charge on legislation allowing seniors to keep their homestead tax exemption when they have to move out of their house because of doctor's orders. Now, I don't know about you, but I think letting seniors keep more of their own money is a really good thing. Absolutely. A great economy also means more people. And more people mean more demand on governmental services. For example, our clerk and recorder, Chuck Broerman, constantly working to do more with increasingly limited resources. Last month alone, 179,000 people voted, which is a record for an off-year election. And they did so with unprecedented ease and convenience. Chuck also runs one of the best motor vehicle departments in the state, processing over 500,000 transactions a year. But Chuck, you know, there are complaints that come along with this. What's the complaint always about? And it wasn't Mrs. Broerman calling me, not at all, though she does that a lot. You know, we hear a lot of complaints about wait times. Wait times at the DMV. In fact, just the other day, Rachel came to me complaining that she had been at the DMV, she had taken a book along with her to read, but she didn't get the chance to do it because her number was called so fast. So Chuck, In the future, if you could just bump those wait times up a little bit, you'd help me out. I appreciate it. And as Chuck knows, a region on the rise also means more people on the roads. Truly, transportation is the lifeblood of any community. Think about this. El Paso County has more lane miles than the entire state of Rhode Island. And on average, we fund our road projects with only about $30 per person per year. And it's tough because when the budgets get tight, you can't cut courtrooms, you can't cut jails or sheriff's deputies without compromising public safety, so many times transportation gets the short end of the stick. But in El Paso County, we do the most with what we're given. And I'm proud of our new Public Works Director, Scott Cuthbertson, and his team, and Commissioner Holly Williams for all of their unyielding effort to get each person the biggest bang for their $30. Nothing exemplifies this better than the $18.3 million build grant recently awarded to the region from the federal government to fix roads around two of our top military installations, Fort Carson and Schriever Air Force Base. It's huge, and it's huge because failing asphalt, long traffic jams, and life-threatening accidents on the roads near the bases demand action. So we, along with the Colorado Department of Transportation, worked hard to solve the problem. Our county engineer, Jennifer Irvin, she's going to be mortified that I put her picture up here, but our county engineer, Jennifer Irvin, took charge, and with the support of so many people in this room, made a compelling case. I want you to think about this here a little bit. Nationwide, 656 applicants competed for $9.6 billion, and we were one of only 55. One of only 55 out of 656 to receive an award. And because of these efforts, I'm happy to report shovels will be moving dirt by the first quarter of 2020. Speaking of moving dirt, as you developers in the room know, we need to work together to grow our region responsibly. This is where I wanted to use the HBA's new motto, "It takes a village to build a village," but I got vetoed on that by the speechwriting committee, so I'm definitely not going to say it. I told you the jokes were going to get better, maybe not, I don't know. But here's what I am going to say. El Paso County has demonstrated our commitment to being a positive force growing our region. Earlier this year, the county began a 2-year collaborative effort to develop a comprehensive regional master plan. This plan will cover everything from land use, infrastructure and water capacity, to digital networks, transportation, and government services. The plan will better serve and accommodate the needs of residents, businesses, and visitors alike. For over a year now, we have engaged thousands of citizens, from high school students to military retirees, and we've done this because we understand this is your community and we need your help to plan for our future together. And I'm excited to report our new regional master plan is on track for implementation at the end of 2020. All right, come on, that's a good thing. But when it comes to planning, in Colorado, everybody knows this saying, whiskey's for drinking, but water's for fighting over. And that's truly because water is our most precious resource. And in order to protect it, El Paso County has developed a new water master plan. This award-winning plan measures current conditions, identifies efficiencies, and encourages best practices for long-term water management. This is a big deal. And it's a big deal because it's imperative to ensure a sustainable water supply for every new rooftop and every family living under it. And one thing that this build grant and these water master plans, or these master plans, demonstrate is that collaboration is a must for a region on the rise. Because we work together, El Paso County has emerged not only as a player on the national scene, but on the international level as well. Earlier this year, the U.S. Department of Commerce, along with the Economic Development Administration and the U.S. Department of State, recognized all Colorado has to offer. Together, they selected El Paso County, Jefferson County, and Denver to co-host the 13th America's Competitiveness Exchange. This is totally awesome. The private sector and government leaders from around the world will come together to see us in the foothills of the Rockies to experience the business-friendly ecosystem we've built by promoting innovation, entrepreneurship, and strong public-private partnerships. And in May of 2020, we're going to need your help to showcase exactly what makes Colorado great. I'd also like to highlight an additional collaborative success, and it's the Regional Office of Emergency Management. And I'm doing this not just to show you how good we are at it, but because we have a freaking awesome video we're going to show you as well. Yes. There it is. That's my favorite video. I love that video from the bomb cyclone several months ago. So as you can see, our regional approach to the Office of Emergency Management is incredible. Whether it's been the bomb cyclone, a fire in one of our municipalities, or a fire in unincorporated El Paso County, we are all better served by recognizing disasters and emergencies don't pay attention to governmental boundaries. And I'd sincerely like to express my gratitude to the city of Colorado Springs for making this great partnership a true success. Thank you for your shared vision and commitment and working together for the benefit of our community. Collaboration is so important, not only in the good times, but in the bad times as well. In 2015, our region was making the news for one of the worst reasons imaginable. Teens were committing suicide at one of the highest rates in the country, completely unacceptable. We knew we had to do something, and we knew we had to do it fast. Our El Paso County Coroner, Dr. Leon Kelly, along with our Public Health Director, Susan Whelan, the Colorado Springs Conservatory, and others rose to the challenge. They worked with school districts, parents, mental health providers, faith-based communities, the private sector, and even the media to develop a plan to engage kids in difficult conversations. Conversations not only about suicide, but about bullying, anxiety, depression, violence, and substance abuse. And today I am happy to report teen suicides are down 50% in El Paso County, and that number continues to trend in the right direction. Thank you, Dr. Kelly, for all the work you've done there, and Susan Whelan. I can't express it enough. We also have the responsibility to stand up for our community's most vulnerable citizens. There's nobody more passionate than Commissioner Cami Brimmer, Julie Crow, and the entire Department of Human Services staff when it comes to protecting at-risk children. They all know from years of experience that infants from birth to age 3 that are in abusive and neglectful environments are particularly vulnerable. Think about it. An infant can't tell you when he or she is hurting. So now, in 2020, a nurse will accompany a caseworker on every hotline call involving a child under 3 years of age. That means a trained medical professional will get eyes on these little ones when they can't speak for themselves. And I just want to highlight here, we are one of only a few counties in the nation providing this level of care to those vulnerable citizens. But believe it or not, some of our most vulnerable citizens are also our biggest heroes. Veterans fought for our freedoms and risked their lives in ways many may not comprehend. But no one can deny that veterans personify courage, strength, loyalty, and sacrifice. We owe them a priceless debt. And yet, even here in El Paso County, many of our over 100,000 veterans struggle to adapt to a regular life and often get lost in the VA system of red tape and paperwork. Tragically, some even end up homeless. But El Paso County works tirelessly to cut through that red tape, get them the benefits they've earned, and connect them with the services they desperately need and deserve. This year alone, we've helped over 8,000 servicemen, women, and their families. And we know that with the help of extraordinary community partners such as Mount Carmel, Peak Military Care Network, and many others, we can truly accomplish the mission. Without a doubt, the modern warfighter experiences mental and physical trauma never identified before. How many of you have witnessed the impacts firsthand of this? I know as an Iraq war veteran, I've seen it myself, and I'll tell you, it truly breaks my heart. If we can get just one more veteran hearing aids, or save one more veteran from sleeping on the streets, or prevent one more veteran from committing suicide, this is worth our greatest effort. Yes, our region is filled with heroes, but not only in the military, also in law enforcement. Sheriff Bill Elder is without a doubt the best sheriff in the entire state of Colorado. And although he faces many challenges, he's committed to a stronger and a safer community. The cultivation of illegal marijuana has the potential to devastate our neighborhoods. It impacts everything from home values to personal safety. Let's not kid ourselves. We're not talking about the guy who grows one too many plants while he's eating Cheetos. We're talking about mass production in our neighborhoods by well-organized and in many cases heavily armed cartels. They're not only trafficking in marijuana, but they're also trafficking in illegal guns, narcotics, and in the worst case, people. But Sheriff Elder has taken a stand here. He boldly called out drug trafficking organizations and said, "We're coming after you." And he's delivered on this promise. Since he first spoke those words, the sheriff's office has busted 162 illegal grow operations and seized almost 6,000 plants throughout El Paso County. It's huge for our public safety. He also has the challenge of managing the largest jail in the state. The mental illness epidemic fuels our inmate population, causing our jail to burst at the seams. Sheriff Elder understands public safety is not just about locking bad guys up, but also about helping people get their lives back on track. He, in partnership with El Paso County Public Health and the Department of Human Services, founded the Beacon Unit you saw earlier in the video. The unit deploys mental health professionals along with deputies anytime mental health or addiction is a factor in a call. Simply put, this solution keeps people in crisis out of jail by getting them the help they need. And I'd like to take a moment here to thank the Beacon Unit along with Sierra. Sierra from the video is here with her family today. Sierra, can you just put your hand up for us? Thank you for being here today and telling your story. And I want you to know, Sierra, we're going to be sending positive thoughts and prayers your way to make sure that you have the strength as your journey continues. And even though we've made great strides, we can't stop now. An organization on the rise needs to constantly be looking over the horizon, anticipating challenges and creating new opportunities to grow. And we in El Paso County are no exception. Without a doubt, economic development will remain a significant area of focus. We will continue working to do our part to create a business-friendly environment so the private sector can thrive and grow the economy. And whether it's through the land use planning process, improved transportation infrastructure, or public-private partnerships, El Paso County stands ready to lead. But we can have the best economy in the world, and if we don't take care of our most vulnerable citizens, our successes will ring hollow. There are too many struggling in the shadows for us to sit idly by. So whether it's getting just one more kid adopted, preventing just one more suicide, or protecting just one more child from abuse, El Paso County stands ready to serve. And finally, public safety is critical. These are easy words to say. However, with limited dollars and increased mandates from the state, keeping our streets, neighborhoods, and first responders safe is an incredibly difficult task. But we're up to the challenge, I promise you that. Whether it's driving cartels from our community, tearing down the stigma around mental health and addiction, or finding innovative solutions to solve jail overcrowding, El Paso County stands ready to protect. So here it is, and I'll finish on this and bring it home. It doesn't matter if you're an elected official, a government worker, a community partner, a small business owner, or anyone else working to make our community better. You're crucial to our success as a region on the rise. Simply put, it takes all of us here. So here's my promise to you, and the promise from the Board of County Commissioners. If you will continue to think big, continue working hard, continue working together, celebrating your successes, but don't care who gets the credit, El Paso County is going to be right there with you, leading, serving, and protecting. Thank you, and thank you for all you do for our community.
A region on the rise indeed. Commissioner Waller, thank you for your words, and to your fellow commissioners, thank you for your leadership in our region. Specifically today, Sheriff Elder and Ryan Parcells, thank you for your work in making today's event possible. Thank you to the Color Guard and the security you provide us. There's a lot happening. Before we close, I'd like to recognize our sponsors one more time for helping make today's event possible. Our platinum sponsor, Pennica Financial Group. Our gold sponsors, the Better Business Bureau, the El Pomar Foundation, Davidson Technologies, Oakwood Homes, Pikes Peak Small Business Development Center, and UC Health. Thanks to our two nonprofit sponsors, Hunting Works for Colorado and Pikes Peak Outdoor Recreation Alliance. And thank you to our media sponsor. Let's give all three of them a hand, the Gazette. Thank you. There is much to celebrate, and yet, as Commissioner Waller said, there's still much work to do. We look forward to enjoying the holiday season with you and starting off 2020 in the same trajectory we're going now. Folks, thank you for joining us today. Wish you happy holidays, and we're adjourned.